So last night we came away with a 1-0 win against Sheffield United. Not really the result we were wanting. We want to see a few more goals, a little bit more attacking. But we did play really well in spells, but really poorly in others. And some of the players at the moment just aren't shining. But let's have a look at the game. We'll have a recap and do the player ratings and see where we go from here. This is the Toon Review. Hi everybody, I'm Paul, back again with another video and just basically reviewing last night's 1-0 win over Sheffield United at St James's Park in the Premier League. We now only have one game to go this season, which is at Fulham on Sunday, but we do have injuries going into that game. The biggest problem for me in the match was fitness. It's been the case for quite a few games now where we just, for some reason, we aren't freaking fit. And it really annoys me because we should have a squad which is fit enough to keep playing. We haven't been playing 2 games a week like certain other teams. For a long time we haven't. You know, it's been one game every week, and somehow after about 60-65 minutes the team is dead on the frickin' feet and we've got nothing left in the tank. Sheffield United basically had the better of that last 20 minutes in the second half. Yes, we had a few counter-attacks which didn't come to anything, but had Sheffield United had a decent striker, I feel that they might have got something out of the game, which is a little bit worrying considering in patches we were superb. St Maximin was just on fire last night. He was really revved up. You could tell he was so happy to have the fans back. But the one major problem with ASM, and, you know, I mentioned this on the reaction show live last night, was that, you know, Patrick Vieira's come out and said that, you know, ASM is a wonderful player. However, he just lacks that final product. And again, you could see that last night. There was a chance to play Dwight Galen in the second half, just knock it across first time. He didn't do that. And again, he goes on these brilliant mazy runs, but there's nothing comes at the end of it. You know, what we want to see is exactly what he did for the goal. You know, he looked up, he saw Jacob Murphy on the right side. Brilliant pass, just split the defence completely. Murphy's cross was pinpoint, and again, that man Joe Willock, what can you say about the kid? Just fantastic. Get him signed. Get him signed for next season and build this bloody midfield around him. Not Shelvey, not anyone else. Get Willock in, pay what they want, and just get this kid in to work that midfield because he is fantastic. He is everything we want in a midfielder. He's got drive, he's got determination, and he doesn't give up. I mean, he was pagged when he came off again yesterday. That's what we want to see from a midfielder. Now, don't get me wrong, I thought Shelvey played a lot better last night. You know, he was involved in a lot. He was putting tackles in. He was working hard to get the ball back. But this is the one problem with John Joe Shelvey. We see that every once in 7 games or something like that. It's not good enough. But last night, I can't fault him. He played very well. We didn't really come under a lot of pressure in the end. I don't think Dubravka really had a save to make of any importance, which says a lot about our defence. Also, what I said earlier about Sheffield United not having a decent striker. But we kept them at bay, and I thought the 3 centre-backs did all right last night. I was pleased for Emil Kraft because for once he's not getting hammered. You know, he wasn't mentioned much in the game, and that's what we want to see. You know, a lot of people commenting that because he wasn't mentioned much, he had a much better game, and he did. We kept things quite tight at the back, to be honest. I thought Jacob Murphy was excellent again at right back, or right wing back as you call it, but one thing with Jacob Murphy is it's just his distribution that he needs to work on. When to clear it, when to bring it out of defence. But his tackling, his work rate was all there last night, and he's getting better game by game in that position. And I really do think that if we do bring some sort of right winger in the summer, that he can be our right back. I've said it for weeks now. If somebody can just coach him into that role, we've got a fantastic right back there who can bomb up and down the pitch, put fantastic crosses in. A bit like Gary Neville used to for Manchester United. You know, he bombed up and down. He was a good defender, but by God, he could cross a ball as well. And maybe that's who Jacob Murphy could sort of turn into. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. A couple of disappointments last night were obviously Joe Linton again for me. Just I mean, that header, my God, he should have done a lot better with that. He kept himself on side. He did the hard bit. The cross was spot on for him. And the header was just wild over the crossbar. And, he's just not a striker. Come on. We really need somebody in next season who is going to cover for Callum Wilson and make sure that, whoever does step up when he's injured can actually put the ball in the back of the net. So for me, he was disappointing. And Miggy again, I thought at the start of the game, he had one drive forward and a good shot straight at the keeper. Very simple for Ramsdale to hang on to, but he went out of the game after that. And again, there's no final product from Miggy. He runs and runs with the ball, fair enough. I've got no problem with that, but it's the end product. There's nothing there from Miggy. You look at Joe Willock and he is just completely outshining Miggy at the minute. Completely outshining him. So how long do we give Miggy? Because let's face it, he's been here a while now and his stats aren't great. They're really not. Now, don't come at me saying that, I'm being negative about Miggy. I'm just speaking the truth. I'm speaking what I really think. Now, I love Miggy. And I've said that since he's been at the club. I absolutely adore the man. But I just want him to have that little bit extra. I want to see more from Miggy. I want to see him scoring goals, creating goals on a consistent basis. Like that pass he did at Leicester for Callum Wilson's goal. Brilliant, through the Ivan Needle pass. But we don't see it enough. We're just not seeing enough from certain players at the moment who really, on reputation should be better than they are. It's very, very frustrating. But all in all, we can't complain. We won the game. It's another 3 points. The lads gave an appreciation lap last night, and I believe Bruce got a big hammering when he was doing the lap of honour, because I thought during the game the fans were fantastic. Yeah, they went quiet in patches, but that's where you need the players to step up and give them that excitement, which we fail to do on a consistent basis at Newcastle United, don't we? But we go into the game at Fulham now looking like we've got injuries. St Maximan slipped on the ground and looks like he's pulled his calf muscle. Now, that shouldn't happen. This is what I'm talking about the fitness. It's absolutely shite. The training is shite. The training ground is shite. And Steve Bruce's training regime is fucking shite. It's all bollocks. Dubravka gets injured controlling a fucking football. All he did was control the ball with his left foot and he's pulled his fucking hamstring. Come on. This is bullshit. Willock goes off with cramp. Then Sheffield United have a free kick in the last couple of minutes. The free kick comes across. Then we've got Jacob Murphy down and out behind the goal. Dwight Gale's on his arse in the 6-yard area. Emil Kraft's stretching his back legs because his muscles are going into... It's absolutely bollocks. And this needs addressing in the summer. This is one thing that Newcastle United have got to address in the summer is our fitness, because it's fucking terrible. It really is. It's worse than, I think, worse in any team in the Premier League. Absolutely no doubt about it. The training facilities are absolutely abysmal. The training regime that Steve Bruce has put in with these 3 days a week and days off, it doesn't work. These players are not conditioned to play 90 minutes of football. And that's been proved over the past couple of months when they've been dead on their feet after 60 freaking minutes. So that needs seriously addressing in the summer. So we could be without Maxi on Sunday. I think Joe Willock was just cramp again because he ran his heart out again. So I hope he'll be involved against Fulham. Obviously, Dubravka's now a major doubt. I don't think he'll play. So who comes in? I mean, obviously, Darlow's still injured, so Gillespie will have to come in at Fulham. You're looking at Maxi missing again. And when Maxi went off last night, the spark and all the excitement seemed to get sucked out of the air. I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but as soon as he went off, we didn't have that spark. Miggy again went on a good run on his left-hand side. You're thinking, just smash it in the net, Miggy. But he doesn't. He runs right to the bar and tries to pull it across. And even Steve Bruce, to be fair to him, bollocked him. You saw that when there was an injury and the camera panned onto Steve Bruce and he immediately was shouting at Miggy saying, fucking shoot, which anybody could see. Why not shoot when you're on your left foot like that? But it's just like the confidence, everything. Miggy is getting the ball and he's panicking. It's just not the same Miggy. But like I say, all in all, a 1-0 win. We get the 3 points. We move on to Fulham for the final game. As for the player ratings, Dubravka for me didn't really have a lot to do. A lot of people saying, he should have been taken off, but he couldn't because he'd used all the subs. Willock had to come off. So Dubravka braved it out. What I don't understand was when he was injured, why a defender didn't come back taking the goal kicks off the ground. Because that was clearly putting Dubravka under extreme pain when he was kicking the ball. But hey ho. So not a great deal for Dubravka to do. So I'll give Dubravka a 7. If we move to the right wing back with Jacob Murphy, I thought he was excellent last night. Absolutely terrific. Brilliant in defence again. And like I say, the only thing that he needs to work on is when to clear the ball, when to bring it out. And I'm sure that there is a good right back in there. So I'm going to give Jacob Murphy a 7 as well. Moving across to left wing back was Matt Ritchie again. Just solid, wasn't he? Just really solid. Had a good game again. Very, very vocal. And Matt, you know what you get with Matt Ritchie. So a 7 as well for Matt Ritchie. Moving into the back three, Emil Kraft. Ain't got no complaints last night about Emil Kraft. I thought he stayed in position very well. He wasn't beaten in the air very much at all. He wasn't beaten on the ground very much. I just thought he had a solid game. Now, whether that's because obviously Sheffield United are a bit lightweight up front, maybe that's the case. But you have to give credit where credit's due, whether you like the player or not. So a 7 for Emil Kraft. Moving into Federico Fernandez. Again, I thought he was sound. One thing I was worried about was a little bit when in that first half, he got done for pace a couple of times. So, yes, he does lack a bit of pace, but I think central defender-wise, if he's bang in the middle, we can sort of get around that a bit, his lack of pace. But again, sound and another 7. Paul Dummett, congratulations to him on making his 200th appearance last night. I thought it was a fantastic achievement for Dummett, and he was pretty sound as well. No worries from Dummett for me. So it's another 7. So all the back line get a 7 from me. Moving into midfield, John Joe Shelvey, again, he did what he had to do last night. One of his better games, I have to say. Did okay. Some good passes. Worked hard to win the ball back at times. So it's a 6 for John Joe. Joe Willock, absolutely outstanding. That guy has just an engine that doesn't stop running. And yes, he had to go off with cramp in the end, but my God, he put a shift in again. So it's an 8 for Joe Willock. Miggy, poor for me again. I mean, I need to see more from Miggy. I really do. It's just not happening for him at the minute. He was pushed further forward last night, which is what people have been asking for, but he still didn't do it. So it's a 5 for Miggy Almiron. And ASM, well, you know what you get with ASM, but I thought he was absolutely fantastic last night. He reminded me very much when he was doing those dribbles of Ben Arthur. The way Ben Arthur used to run at defenders, weaving in and out, and just brilliant. But this guy seems to be made of glass, and that's a huge worry for Newcastle United. He goes down and he stays down, and but last night, just pulling a muscle like that, he's just so fragile. And the end product's not there. But for the entertainment that he gave the fans at the ground last night and us who were watching, it's a 9 for St Maximin. Joe Linton, well, he played the first half, but he didn't really have much. He wasn't in the game at all until the header, which he completely fluffed. And that's the problem with Joe Linton. He's just, for some reason, the confidence isn't there or the ability isn't there. And I think it's the ability more than anything, because he's grown in confidence the last few weeks. But I think his ability is just not good enough. So it's a 5 for Joe Linton. Moving on to the substitutes, Dwight Gale came on at half-time, and I really don't think this guy is a Premier League player, and I don't think his attitude is right at the minute either. He just doesn't seem interested. For me, I'd like to see him move on in the summer, probably to a championship team where I think he'd probably score some goals. So it's a 4 for Dwight Gale. We move on to another substitute who was obviously Sean Longstaff. He came on for Joe Willock. I don't know. I mean, Sean Longstaff, we know what he can do. I complained last night on the reaction show that I thought maybe that he should have brought Matty on and gave Matty a run out. We know what Sean can do, so why not try Matty? But he seems to be in the bad books with Steve Bruce, does Matty Longstaff, and it doesn't seem like clearing itself up at all. So for me, Sean Longstaff a 5, and obviously Andy Carroll for his cameo role didn't really do much either, did he? We didn't get enough balls into the box when he's on the pitch. He fell over a couple of times, bless him, trying to get the ball, but there was nothing there really. So a 5 for Andy Carroll, and Steve Bruce. Well, I mean, like I said, at times we were brilliant, and it was really satisfying to see us break out so quickly at times, but On the other flip side of that, there was times where we were just like a tractor coming out of defence. So for me, I'm going middle of the road for Steve Bruce last night in a 5. So there's the player ratings and the review of the match. I mean, it wasn't the greatest spectacle that we've ever seen, that's for certain. I was expecting a few more goals. Hopefully some of the kids will come in against Fulham. You know, that would be nice to see. The likes of Anderson and Matty maybe hopefully getting in the team for the final game. Certainly we're probably going to have to make a change of goalkeeper. Because, you know, Dubravka, if he's got a hamstring injury, that's not going to be solved by Sunday. St Maximin as well, you know, if he's strained a calf muscle, that's a couple of weeks out at least. So I don't think we'll see him again this season. But we'll have to see what happens in the summer with Maxi, because a lot of people are very, very worried about where he's going to end up. But there you go. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the player ratings, what you thought of the match. You know, what's going on with Miggy? What do you think? Let me know. I do reply to all the comments that I possibly can, so it's nice to have conversations with you guys down there. Show's coming up tonight, as I record this on the morning. Tonight we've got the fan forum live, so as usual, the link to join the show will be in the live comments. Click on that, you come into the waiting room, and me and Jade will bring you onto the show. Come and have a chat about the match last night and Newcastle United moving forward in the summer. What do you want to see, basically? And tomorrow night, it's the preview and press conference review. Me and Jade will be chatting about that and looking forward to the game against Fulham. And then obviously after the game against Fulham, around about 6 o'clock on Sunday night, we've got match reaction live again with me and Jade. So that should be hopefully a happy one, as long as we don't get drubbed in the game and we put up a fight. But like I said, I'd like to see some of the kids come in and prove what they can do. But in the meantime, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. If you do like the video, please do hit the like button, because it does help us grow the channel. And if you're new or you haven't already subscribed yet, please do consider subscribing and help us grow the channel that way as well. But in the meantime, guys, thanks for watching. Take care.
Be strong.